Good morning. Good morning. How are you, my entrepreneurial friends? How are you, you professional salespeople? I'm going to give you a little bit different talk today. My name is Brian K McNeill, and I am the sales confidence coach. And I've written books on how to sell. I've trained thousands of people on how to sell. I've done all kinds of things, but I wasn't always good at selling. And today I'm going to tell you the story of me and my life before I learned how to sell, what it was like. Um, I was in the Army. I went to the Army at age 17. And right out of high school, I took a 2-month break after high school, then went to the Army. But when I got out of the Army, 3 years later, 20-year-old man, I got married at age 21. And I had a job at a hotel as a front desk supervisor of the front desk staff. And my pretty wife showed up at my job, and she never showed up at the job before. So I'm wondering what she wants. She came and she said, "Brian, I need to talk to you." I was like, "Yeah, baby, what's up?" She never shows up at my job. And she goes, "We're pregnant." And we were both so excited and happy because we had wanted a child. And she came and told me that she was pregnant, and I was happy. That was the first thought. Yes, we're pregnant. We're going to have a baby. But then my next thought is, oh my gosh, I don't make enough money as a front desk supervisor to support a wife and a baby. I need to make more money. So I started thinking about what can I do to earn more money? And I didn't feel like the hotel job was going to pay. And over time, I was at the hotel for 15 months. And over time, the guests would come, and it was like a business travelers hotel. Guests would come, "Brian, you'd be good at sales, Brian. You'd be good at sales." And frankly, I didn't have any idea what sales was at age 21. I didn't know what it meant, but they kept telling me I'd be good at sales. So this is many years ago. I'm 54 now. I looked in the newspaper under employment, and I end up in the sales section, and they had a job offer, an ad that says entry level sales will train. And I knew I was entry level, and I knew I was going to need to learn how to do it. So I applied for the job, and the job was a straight commissioned sales job. Straight commissioned. That means if you don't make a sale, you don't get any money. Straight commission. And it was for a home improvement company. And so I interviewed for the job. They did a sales presentation on me, and they hired me for the job. Now, this company was old school men. It was like 15 men on the sales force, and they were old school. And I was the youngest one on the sales force. And I was one of only 2 black people on the sales force. 13 older white men and 2 black people. And one of them was young, and the other one is about their age too. And I was terrible at sales. The training program consisted of teaching you how to measure a home and teach you how to price out a job, but no training on sales. The sales training came in the form of hang in there, you'll get it. Hang in there, you'll get it. And I was dying. I couldn't sell it at all. I was making no sales. We had to go to the customer's home. I was making no sales, meaning I was making no money. And I have a wife and a baby coming, and I need to make money. I was like desperate. I kept trying to quit. I said, "Look, man, I'm not good at this thing." They wouldn't let me quit. They kept talking me out of it every time. And the difference came to me when I discovered a book on selling. It's called How to Master the Art of Selling by Tom Hopkins. And I bought that book, and I started turning the pages of that book. And I'll never forget that on page 4 of that book, it talked about why you cannot fail in selling. Why you cannot fail in selling. And I needed someone to tell me that at the time because I was dying every day. And then basically the premise was if you will just do the work you're supposed to do, you can't fail in selling. Do the nuts and bolts of it. So I started to read that book, and I got a little bit better idea about what I was doing. And then I got another book and another book and another book. And I never stopped reading about selling. But because I remember the frustrations I had when there was no money coming in, when I had bills due, when I had car payments due, and I had a pretty wife at home, and then I ended up with another child too. So I had 2 children at home, and I needed to learn how to sell quickly. And I learned how to sell by just studying it myself. In my career as a sales coach, I have seen many, many people cry because they can't get people to hire them, or they can't get enough clients. And their frustration and their tears are very often born out of, if I could just get them to understand it. And if I don't get more clients, I'm going to have to quit my business and go do a real job if I can't figure out. And I've learned to understand that frustration. I've learned to see it. I've seen it so many times. Before you learn how to sell, your life is different than it is after you learn how to sell. I believe the two most important skills of life is the ability to communicate, articulate a thought, explain a concept, get your point across, and the ability to sell, to get money in exchange for your thought or talk or product or service, to get money in exchange for it. The ability to get, that's what selling is, the ability to get money in exchange for a thing. Marketing is different than sales. Marketing is creating awareness of what you have to the world, creating awareness with the right people. But selling is not the creating awareness of it. The selling is the actual getting the money in exchange for it. So learning how to sell, I think, has a lot to do with your happiness or sadness in life. I remember what it was like for me before I learned how to sell. All that frustration, all that disappointment. Matter of fact, I was so bad at selling that when I finally made a sale, I didn't even know how to do the paperwork. I had never seen it before. But that's not the case today. That was 30 years ago for me. But anyway, for those of you who can relate to some of the stuff I'm talking about here, I hear you. I hear you. That you know what it feels like to not be able to sell, or you know what it feels like to not be able to sell well. I want you to know there's help for you. My hand is raised to be helpful. Have a beautiful day.